This morning at 7, the latest on that teacher sex abuse scandal at St. Helens High School. You'll hear from the former student who sparked the initial investigation. Plus, an ongoing investigation after a Clark County Sheriff's deputy shoots a man Wednesday night. What we know at this point. Your news starts now. Good morning, and thanks for getting up with us this morning at 7 a.m. I'm Libby Dowsett with Celine Stevens. Nice to have you here with us.
Happy to be here.
Telling us rainy weather.
Yeah, I was
telling us
we've
about
had
it.
a great morning, but it's been pretty cool and pretty rainy. There's a lot more where that comes from. Let's go ahead and take a look right now at the Reserve Golf Course. Looks very dreary out there. Temperatures in the upper 40s. It's 48 degrees at the moment. Those winds, though, at least they're nice and calm. Lots of watches and warnings to look out for. Let's go ahead and start with our winter storm warning for the Cascades. We could be seeing 10 to 30 inches of snow along the passes, 3 to 4 inches in those elevations above 5,000 feet. So if you are headed that way, we actually have a weather impact alert issued just because of the dangerous and excessive conditions. Also, some areas of the central and northern Oregon coast and those regions seeing a winter weather advisory, looking at wet snow around a foot in those elevations above 2,500 feet. So just watch out if you're headed to those areas. If you're headed to the coast, look out for the sneaker waves. Lots of things to look out for today. Taking a look at our radar, that rain was coming in this morning. It looks like it's starting to thin out at least a little bit for right now. Expect scattered showers as we get into the afternoon. Like I said, we have our weather impact alert. Expect gusts up to 45 miles per hour in this area. If you are driving and have to, make sure you're equipped. But here's where we're going real fast. 50 degrees around right now. Looks like by afternoon, scattered showers 52. We get later into the evening, we drop back into the 40s. Scattered showers continue, but after that, especially come Tuesday, a lot more rain on the way. We'll talk about it a little bit later. Libby?
All right, Celine, thank you.
There's always been those teachers there that just feel predatory, that feel unsafe.
We are hearing more this morning from a former St. Helens High School student who helped spark an investigation into 2 teachers now facing sex abuse charges. KGW's John Adams walks us through how this all started.
I have a lot of people that are sending me messages about things that are going on at my old high school.
2007 graduate Doug Weaver never imagined a TikTok post about his experience with a former coach at St. Helens High School would lead to the arrest of a current and former teacher.
I just had a lot of people sending me messages.
Weaver says a number of messages were about alleged misconduct committed by now arrested choir teacher Eric Stearns. Weaver would forward the accusations to Safe Oregon. He was then contacted by Columbia County detectives. Stearns and former teacher Mark Collins were arrested this week after a 2-month investigation. Weaver says he's not surprised the district allowed Stearns to continue teaching, a decision that prompted outrage from parents and students.
Sadly, it didn't surprise me at all. Sadly, I had no expectation that they would keep students safe.
Weaver calls this just the latest example of the school district failing to protect students from predatory behavior. In March of this year, the district paid out $3.5 million to settle a former student's civil rights suit against a former St. Helens track coach.
There's always been those teachers there that just feel predatory, that feel unsafe, that you warn the incoming freshmen, stay away from these teachers, don't be alone with these teachers.
In just the past few days, the high school principal and the district superintendent have been placed on leave, and the board chair has resigned after students and parents pushed for change during a school board meeting on Wednesday. Weaver applauds their efforts.
For a long time, I didn't think that change in this district was a possible thing.
John Adams, KGW News.
Both Eric Stearns and Mark Collins have pleaded not guilty to charges of sexual abuse. And as we follow these cases, the team at The Story is working to talk to people in the St. Helens community who have more information. If that is you, you can email thestory@kgw.com or call the number on your screen, 503-226-5090. A man is now in jail after stealing an Elephant's Deli delivery truck with an employee inside. Beaverton police say this was caught on surveillance video around 4 Friday morning at a warehouse in Milwaukee. One worker was in the back of the truck, and when it started to move, she hung on as stuff fell out and smashed on the ground before she eventually jumped off the truck. She told us she couldn't believe what was happening.
Not in complete shock, but somewhat of a denial, because I was like, oh, maybe I forgot to put the brake, or did I leave it in drive? They just started driving.
Oh boy, authorities say employees tracked the vehicle to Beaverton using an AirTag and called police. Officers say the suspect, 29-year-old Forrest Gallante, rammed a police vehicle, then tried to get away on foot. Authorities arrested him just after noon Friday. He's now in jail and faces multiple charges, including a hit and run. This morning, we're hearing from the uncle of a 5-year-old living with autism who was found dead Tuesday near his home in Coos County, 3 days after he went missing.
I'm just there right now. My family, like my mother and the father, my brother, he is taking a really hard time.
Oh boy. Joshua James McCoy, or JJ, was named after his uncle who lives in Ohio. Joshua told us JJ was a happy kid and a climber. Last night, the community held a vigil in North Bend. His uncle tells us he's grateful for the support and wishes he could be there in person.
The support that we're getting from people in that area, and news outlets and daycares and tons of people that is just calling and supporting us. They're having that candlelight ceremony. They're having a motorcycle ride, a Jeep ride with like the sheriff and police department in it.
Yesterday would have been Joshua's 6th birthday. The sheriff's office says they found his body 1.5 miles from home. His mother told them she had fallen asleep, and when she woke up, JJ was gone. His family tells us they want to hire a private investigator to better understand the circumstances around JJ's death. In Camas, Washington State Patrol investigators are looking into what led up to a Clark County Sheriff's deputy shooting a man and sending him to the hospital. On Thursday, we learned the man has since been released and taken to jail. The shooting happened late Wednesday night on Northeast Everett near 23rd. The sheriff's office says no one else was hurt. Thomas Schultz has details.
Up here in Camas, neighbors are shaken up after this shooting, and as you can imagine, it was a restless night for many.
I was sitting in my living room, and next thing I heard a shot.
Around 9:45 Wednesday night, Ashley Valenzuela, her husband, and 4 kids were jolted from a restful night by the sound of gunshots.
My kids thought fireworks. I said, no, that's not fireworks.
Just a couple houses down, the Clark County Sheriff's Office says shots were fired. For the next half hour, gunfire continued.
Probably not even 5 minutes later, I heard a second one. 5 minutes after that, we heard a third one.
4 law enforcement agencies responded and say a man was outside this home who wasn't supposed to be there. Deputies believe the man had a restraining order placed against him, preventing him from visiting this home or owning guns.
It was a little bit chaotic.
Using an armored vehicle, law enforcement approached him, hoping to talk. That's when they say the shooting took place.
I know the husband or ex-husband was a little bit troubled.
Police have not confirmed the man's relation to the home. We do know a Clark County deputy shot him, and then he was taken to the hospital.
Obviously, this is a very dynamic situation, and it's going to be ongoing. It's going to be a while before we can put all the pieces together.
And to neighbors like Valenzuela, something like this happening so close to home is shocking.
Like I said, I've lived here for my whole life, and this isn't Camas.
Now, there's still a lot we don't know about what led up to this shooting. We don't even know the name of the man that was shot. Though we do know that body camera footage will be released at a later date. That date is not yet determined. Now, as for the deputy who shot the man, they've been placed on administrative leave, which is standard protocol. In Camas, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.